here, turn me loose, Sheriff. You can't keep me tied up like this. Don't you know who I am? I'm Willard Cranby. I'm part of the Lucy Bobwell gang. You can't keep me tied up like this, Sheriff. You get back here and turn me loose. Oh boy, what a mistake I made this time. Oh boy, little Roy and I shouldn't have come into this town. Something told me, don't try to rob that bank in Wallyville. Don't try to rob that bank in Wallyville. Something bad's gonna happen. And son of a gun, it did. Little Roy and me got captured. Yeah, little Roy and me got captured. Sheriff, you get back here and turn me loose. And how's little Roy doing? You shot little Roy. You shot him in the leg. You're gonna pay for that, Sheriff. You're gonna pay for shooting little Roy. Little Roy is Lucy Bobwell's cousin. When she finds out you shot her cousin, boy, she's gonna be mighty angry. You're really in for it, Sheriff. You're gonna get yours when Lucy Bobwell finds out you've captured us and shot her cousin, little Roy. Oh boy, are you gonna get it. Oh boy, poor little Roy. That's the second time this year he's been shot. Oh, that poor guy doesn't have any kind of luck but bad luck. Oh, now he's probably lying over there in another jail cell, bleeding real bad. Boy, that was a bad leg wound he took. Sheriff got him right in the leg as we were running out of the bank. Oh, poor little Roy. But like I said, little Roy is Lucy's cousin. Boy, when Lucy Bobwell finds out that sheriff shot her cousin, she'll get in here and free me and little Roy. Boy, Lucy's a tough lady. Boy, she's a tough lady. That lady's been the leader of an outlaw gang for 10 years. Man, oh man, what a rough, tough lady she is, and smart. Oh boy, that's what Lucy told. Lucy told all of the members of the gang. She said, don't any of you guys try to rob a bank on your own. Let me do all the planning and figuring. Well, little Roy and me figured, hey, we can rob a bank as good as any woman. So doggone it, we figured we'd come in here and rob the bank in Wallyville. Oh man, what a mistake we made. Boy, the sheriff and his deputies were just waiting for us. Yeah, the moment little Roy and me came running out of the bank, they started pumping fire. Pow, pow, pow. Oh, they hit little Roy in the leg. He was shot bad. Oh, little Roy, I hope you're all right. I hope you can hear me, little Roy. Oh man, they got little Roy. They shot little Roy in the leg. Oh boy. Oh man, if Lucy had been leading us, we wouldn't have got caught. Nothing bad would have happened if Lucy. Why didn't we listen to Lucy? She told us, don't try to rob any banks on your own. Oh, why didn't we listen to Lucy? Oh man. Oh boy. Lucy's been good to me. Lucy's been good to me. I remember when I joined her gang, I was a cattle rustler at first. Me and 4 other guys got caught rustling cattle. They put us in jail, and boy, they hanged those 4 guys, and it was coming up to my day to be hanged, and son of a gun, that day that I was supposed to be hanged, Lucy Bobwell and her gang robbed the bank in town that day, and when they came out of the bank firing, the sheriff ran out to try to stop Lucy, and he forgot to lock the door on the jail cell, and man, I grabbed my hat and I ran out of that jail and I escaped. I grabbed the first horse I could find and I jumped up on that horse and I just started riding, and Lucy and her gang, they were riding out of town, and they said, come on fella, join us. And so I rode with Lucy, and oh man, the sheriff and his gang, they gave chase, and the posse was after us, and we were riding like crazy, and we escaped. Lucy knew her way around the West. Boy, she got us up in those hills, and that was it. The sheriff and his deputies were lost. They couldn't find us. Ah, man, Lucy's smart. So after we got to her hideout, she said, "All right, fella, who are you?" I said, "I'm Willard Cranby, cattle rustler." She said, "Well, you're a mighty poor cattle rustler if you got caught." I said, "Well, I guess you're right." She said, "How would you like to join my gang?" I said, "Well, what do you do?" She said, "We rob banks." I said, "Well, I don't know if I'd be any good at robbing banks, but I sure would like to try." She said, "All right, I can use all the men I can find." Said, "You're going to be a part of my gang, the Lucy Bobwell gang." So I became a part of the Lucy Bobwell gang right then and there. You better believe it. Yes, sir. Boy, we've had some adventures. Oh, man, have we had some adventures. Man, we've robbed so many banks, I can't even remember all the banks we robbed. But I do remember some of the bad times we had, though, you know, the times that some of us got caught. I remember when two of the gang got caught over there in Burnville. Oh, man, those were two of Lucy's favorite boys. And so when we got back to the hideout with the money, Lucy said, "We got to go back and get Tom and Jeff." She said, "I can't leave my boys in jail." She said, "We got to figure out a plan. We got to go back and get Tom and Jeff." And so that's exactly what we did. It took us 5 days to get everything arranged, but we went back to Burnville. And boy, we stormed into that town, and we freed Tom and Jeff, and just for good measure, Lucy set the jailhouse on fire. Oh man, I tell you, that lady is something else. Yeah, just to teach the sheriff and his deputies a lesson, she set the jailhouse on fire. She said, "That'll teach you to capture members of the Lucy Bobwell gang." So doggone it, that'll teach you to capture members of the Lucy Bobwell gang. So we freed Tom and Jeff, and so the whole gang were together again, and we just went on and kept robbing banks, and oh man, the adventures we had. But there was another time over in Union City when we ran into trouble, and 3 of the boys got wounded. Oh man, what a terrible time that was. We just barely managed to get out of Union City with our lives. There was about 5 of us, me and Lucy and about 3 or 4 other guys. We got out without getting shot, but boy, 3 of our men got wounded real bad. I mean, they were shot up bad. And so we got them back to the hideout, and Lucy said, "Somebody's got to find the town and find the doctor." And so I guess it was up to me. So I said, "Well, I'll go." And so me and 2 other guys, we rode around for a whole day till we found what looked like a real decent town that might have a real decent doctor. And so what we had to do, we went in and kidnapped the doctor at gunpoint. Yeah, we kidnapped the doctor at gunpoint. I don't remember his name, but he was a real good doctor. We said, "Come on, Doc, you're coming with us whether you want to or not." So we took the doc back to our hideout, and we said, "Get busy, Doc." So you got 3 shot up men here to save. And so the doc didn't want to do it, but he was staring at all of those guns we had, and he said, "Well, okay." And so he got busy. And we kept him there for a whole week. We kept that doctor in our hideout for a whole week. We blindfolded him when we brought him in, because we didn't want him to know where he was. We didn't want him to be able to lead the sheriff back to our hideout. So when we brought him in, we blindfolded him. And so he worked on those 3 men for a week, and by Jove, he got them in real good shape. Yeah, at the end of the week, why the boys were able to get up on their feet, and they were able to walk around, and Lucy said, "Oh, Doc, you've done a real good job here." She said, "You've done a real good job." Said, "I sure do want to thank you." And so she let the doctor go. She told me and the 2 boys, said, "Blindfold him and take him back where you found him." And so that's exactly what we did. We blindfolded the doc and took him back to the town where we found him. And we said, "Now, Doc, if you're smart, you'll tell the people that you fell and hit your head on a rock and you've had amnesia for a week and you don't know where you've been. We said, because you don't want to mess with the kind of people that we are. And so I guess the doc was smart, because we never had any trouble out of the sheriff from that town. No, I guess the sheriff and his boys, they must have listened to the doctor's story and believed him, because nobody ever came out looking for us from that town. And that was good, because we didn't want to hurt anybody. We were just peaceful bank robbers. We didn't want to really hurt anybody. So while our 3 men were all laid up with their gunshot wounds, we had to do something else to make money. So me and Lucy and the other 3 boys, we decided we'd rob some stagecoaches. Oh man, do I remember those adventures robbing those stagecoaches. Man, oh man, you really had to be a good horseback rider. I mean, we'd get up on top of a hill and we'd see the stagecoach coming, and we'd said, Lucy, what are we going to do next? She said, boys, draw your guns and commence riding. And son of a gun, we'd have to chase down the stagecoach. And oh man, that was rough. That was not easy, chasing after those stagecoaches, especially if the stagecoach driver and his armed guard would see us and they'd start shooting at us. So here we'd be dodging bullets and trying to catch the stage. But more often than not, we caught that stage and we robbed it. We got some good money off of those stagecoaches. We got some good money. Sheriff, you get back here and turn me loose. This rope is beginning to hurt. You hear me, Sheriff? This rope is beginning to hurt. You get back here and turn me loose. And I want to know about Little Roy. How's Little Roy doing? I want to see him. I want to hear him. Boy, I tell you, when Lucy finds out what you've done, you're in trouble. You're in big trouble. Oh, man, oh, man. Oh, gee. Oh, man, oh, man. Can't believe we got caught. But like I said, I had that bad dream that something bad was going to happen here in Wallyville. And it sure did. It sure did. Oh, man. Oh, goodness gracious. I bet you I must feel like that actress that Lucy captured on one of the stagecoaches. Now I'm beginning to see what she must have felt like. This was a very famous stage actress and singer from the East, and she had come out west to entertain the cowboys out west. And so one of the stagecoaches that me and Lucy and the boys robbed, this actress singer was on the stagecoach. And when Lucy asked her, said, "Ma'am, who are you and what are you?" She said, "Why, I'm a famous actress from the East." Oh boy, that did it, that did it. You see, Lucy loves stuff like that. She loves acting and singing. So after we robbed the stagecoach, she took the actress back to our hideout. She blindfolded her and put her on one of our horses and took her back to our hideout. And the actress, she was a whining and a moan. She said, "Oh, ma'am, please don't do this to me. Please don't do this to me. Ma'am, please let me go." And Lucy said, "Shut up." Said, "I'm going to take you back to my hideout and you're going to entertain me and my boys." And that's exactly what Lucy did. She took that woman back to our hideout, and that woman was so nervous and jittery and shaky at first. And Lucy said, "Ma'am, you better get yourself together, because you got to put on a show for us." And so it took a long time, but finally the actress, she settled down and got her nerves all calm and everything. And she said, "Well, if I've got to entertain you, I guess I'll entertain." And so, son of a gun, we all sat back, and that girl was good. She was a good actress, and she was a good singer, and she entertained us all afternoon. I mean, we really enjoyed it. It was just one of the grandest afternoons I'd ever had in my life. And the lady was so gorgeous, and ooh, she smelled so nice, and she was so pretty. Of course, she had on a lot of makeup, but we didn't care, because we didn't get to see many pretty women at all. This lady was good. So like I said, Lucy made her stay at our hideout the whole afternoon, a singing and a actress and a dancing and a entertaining her. And then finally, after Lucy had enough, she said, "All right, Willard, you and some of the other boys put a blindfold on her and take her on into town." And so that's exactly what me and some of the boys did. We put a blindfold on her and took her on into town. And boy, I mean to tell you, it was a good show. It was a good show. We really enjoyed the way that lady entertained us. Sheriff, you get on back here and let me loose now. I'm starting to get real uncomfortable. Now you come on back here and let me loose. And you better be looking after Little Roy too. Because Little Roy is Lucy's cousin. And boy, I tell you, when she finds out what you've done, when Lucy finds out what you've done to her cousin Little Roy, oh, it's going to be awful. It's going to be awful, Sheriff. Sheriff, I'm just trying to save your life. I'm just telling you all of this to save your life, Sheriff. I'm not trying to be a smart outlaw or anything, but you ought to come on back here and let me loose, and you ought to make sure that Little Roy is all right, and you ought to just turn us loose and put us on a horse and let us get on back to Lucy Bobwell. You don't want Lucy coming into your town or shooting up your town. Now come on, Sheriff, get on back here and turn me loose. Oh, man, I don't think he's listening to me. I don't think he's listening to me. Oh, brother. Oh, my God. Boy, I wish I was back at the hideout. And I wish that actress was back there again entertaining us. And I just wish everything was peaceful and nice like it was that day. Oh, brother. Like I said, this all happened while some of our men were wounded and was healing. And me and Lucy and some of the other boys were robbing stagecoaches. Why, I remember on one of the other stagecoaches we robbed, there was 3 mail-order brides. Now, you know what mail-order brides are? Those are women who come west looking for a husband. Oh, and we robbed this one stagecoach, and there was 3 of these ladies on the stagecoach. 3 mail-order brides. And they were angry, they were so mad. They said, what do you outlaws think you're trying to do? They said, we've got to get to town and meet our future husbands. Oh man, they were real brassy and sassy, and Lucy just laughed at them. Lucy just laughed at them. She said, ladies, I don't think you understand what's going on. Said, this is a stagecoach robbery, and I've got a gun, and my men behind me, they've got guns. Say, you are in real trouble. Say, I think you just better shut up. And so these ladies finally got the point. They realized, hey, this is no joke. This is for real. And so they just settled back in their seats and shut up. And so Lucy decided to have some fun. And so she said, you ladies, since you got such big mouths, said, you come on down out of that stagecoach. And they said, we will not. And so Lucy cocked the hammer on her gun. She said, am I going to have to fire this gun? They said, oh, no, we're getting out, we're getting out. And so the 3 mail-order brides, they got out of the stagecoach. And so Lucy told the driver and the guard, it's all right now, get out of here. Head on to town where you were going. And so the driver and the guard, boy, they got that stagecoach moving, and they shot out of there. And so the 3 mail-order brides said, ma'am, what have you done? Said, what have you done? You've sent the stagecoach off without us. And Lucy said, since you ladies have such big mouths, said, why don't you walk to town? And they said, oh, ma'am, you've got to be crazy. Said, we can't. She said, well, give it a try. And so Lucy just laughed again, and all of us rode away with all that money we had gotten from the stagecoach robbery, and we left those 3 mail-order brides standing there in the middle of the road in all of their fine clothes and everything. And oh, they were a-hollering and a-cussing us. They were so angry, and that sun was so high. It was so high in the sky, and it was so hot, and there was so much dust, and those poor ladies knew that they were going to have to start out walking to town. I don't know if the stagecoach turned around and came back and got them later on or not, but anyway, Lucy got a big laugh out of that. She said, that'll teach those ladies to mouth off to me. She said, I'm Lucy Bobwell, leader of the greatest outlaw gang in the West. Nobody shoots off their mouth to me. And I said, boy, that's right. I said, nobody tells Lucy Bobwell anything. Well, there was another stagecoach that we robbed, and on this stagecoach, would you believe, there was an artist on the stage. This a guy who paints pictures. Now I said, surely Lucy is not interested in him. But sure enough, she was. She made him get off of the stage, and she put a blindfold on him, and she took him to our hideout. I said, Miss Lucy, what are you going to do? She said, I'm going to make him paint my picture. So she kept this guy at our hideout for a week, and she made him paint 5 pictures of her. And when she got ready to let the guy go, she told him, said, now you take those pictures and you take them to the newspaper and you have them print my picture so everybody can see how beautiful I am. You tell them that's Lucy Bobwell. You tell them that's Lucy Bobwell, the famous outlaw. And so when the guy was getting ready to go, we blindfolded him and we took him to the nearest town, and we said, well, sir, it's time for you to go. Said, if I was you, I would do what Lucy said. I would take those pictures to the nearest newspaper and get them printed. And sure enough, it was about a few weeks later. We robbed a town and we happened to grab a newspaper. And would you believe there was all 5 of those pictures of Lucy Bobwell? And so Lucy is famous now. Oh, Lucy is real famous. They write stories about her in those little old dime novels in the East, and her picture gets printed, and Lucy is real famous. Lucy is a real famous outlaw. I tell you, anytime we go to a town and rob a bank, we always look for a newspaper to see if Lucy's picture's on it. Oh, she's getting real famous. Oh, she's almost as famous now as Billy the Kid and Jesse James and a whole bunch of those other outlaws. So I feel kind of proud being a part of the Lucy Bobwell gang, a lady who's known all over the United States. I feel rather proud. But right now I'm not proud because I want to be free. I want to be out of these ropes. Sheriff, you get back here and set me free. I tell you, you're going to be in big trouble when Lucy finds out what you've done. When Lucy finds out you've captured me and her cousin, I tell you, you're going to be in big trouble. So you get back here and set me free. Oh, brother. Oh, my goodness gracious. Well, I guess I'm done for right now. I'll just have to sit here and wait and see if Lucy comes and frees me. I'll just have to sit here tied up in this lousy, stinking jail and see if Lucy ever comes to set me free. Lucy, if you can hear me, come set me and little Roy free. Lucy Bobwell, if you can hear me, come set me and little Roy free. We made a terrible mistake. We got captured. Come on, Lucy, please come get us free. Oh.